Northern Tasmania, Kim Napier.
Shocking new research reveals 1 in 2 Australians have used an offensive term to describe a person living with a disability. 1 in 3 Australians are not confident they even know the politically correct terms when referring to someone with a disability. On Friday breakfast, Belinda King spoke with River Knight. He's the co-founder of Developing Australian Communities.
So we generally say a person with a disability, a person with autism, a person with a physical disability. But even within the disability community itself, that changes. So some people might say, I'm not a person with autism. I rather you say that I'm actually autistic. So they have this kind of back and forth in the community. So what we say to people in general is just have the experience, pay attention to the people in your community, watch the Paralympics, and just start by talking to people as if they are people.
Yeah, it's not that hard, is it? He is the man behind Think Before You Speak, River Knight there, co-founder of Developing Australian Communities. Now, at just 5 years of age, my next guest, Bianca, was diagnosed with one of the worst cases of Tourette Syndrome in the world. She now dedicates her life to educating the community about her disability and supporting those with similar conditions and documenting her experience. So thanks for coming on the program, Bianca. I know you're a little nervous it wasn't articulated to you that it was going to be live, but I've got you back, okay?
It's lovely to be on here.
Firstly, what is the correct terminology to use for someone like yourself with Tourette's?
What do you mean by terminology, sorry?
Well, we were discussing before that, and it's according to research, that 1 in 2 Australians have used an offensive term to describe a person living with a disability, and 1 in 3 Australians are not confident they know the politically correct term. So if I was to introduce you and preface the fact that you have Tourette's, would I say, this is my mate, Bianca, she has Tourette's?
Yeah, that's what I would say. That's what you would say, yeah.
Yeah, okay, so we've established that. What is Tourette Syndrome, Bianca?
Tourette Syndrome is a neurological disorder which is characterised by uncontrollable movements and vocalisations called tics. So we can't help that. So telling someone with Tourette's to stop ticking is like telling someone to stop blinking or breathing, basically.
So what is specific about your diagnosis?
I'm really severe. So I've got everything, swearing, motor tics, a lot of different kinds of tics, and they come out a lot in public also.
Okay, well, they could come out in a live radio interview, so if anyone is afraid of a rude word, then we'll have kids in the car, then you might want to turn it down or just stick with us. So in 2008, you underwent extreme radical brain stimulation surgery. I've heard of this. It was at the time the first of its kind in Australia. It was meant to reset your brain cells and stop you from, hitting yourself, and you've also been known to lash out at your family. But it didn't work. What happened?
Unfortunately, the first operation only worked for a month, and then I got a severe staph infection in my where my battery plaques were put. And then the next 10 years, I've had 16 brain operations all up, but the next 10 years was like put it in, get an infection, take it out for 3 months and get on another drip and then put it back in. That's been the last decade of my life, surgeries after more surgeries.
So 16, that must take its toll on you.
Yeah, I've got a lot of scarring, and my stomach has got a lot of scar tissue, and I'm also losing weight at the moment. So I don't know what's going to happen when I lose more weight, if I'm going to have a massive bulge on my stomach, but time will only tell.
Well, you're present company. You're in good company in terms of the bulge around the stomach. So what is Tourette's misunderstood? And I ask you this because I was once on a plane, and there was a man who was vocalising, and so he was making the sound of a chook, and then after that he would swear. I knew straight away it was Tourette's, but when we got off the plane, at some point they had arranged for an ambulance and a stretcher to take this guy off the plane when he just had Tourette's. Have you heard of stories like that? I haven't been on a plane for a long time, but I can understand the anxiety he must have went through, especially if people didn't understand, because the more people don't understand, the more our Tourette's comes out.
I feel like that was really wrong to assume that he needed a stretcher and an ambulance. If people just understood and just said, that's okay, that would have made him relax a lot more. But, I've been called an escape mental patient and, oh, look at this filthy girl. Like, I just wish people could stop and look and understand and then say something. But people just seem to shoot their mouth off before they even know what's really going on.
Yeah, and also there were people on this plane, the passengers were laughing. Have you experienced that?
Oh, I've experienced more than that. I've been physically punched in public and stuff. Laughing at a person with Tourette's, especially if it's not a friend that's laughing with you, that makes us feel so bad. It makes us feel not wanted. I couldn't imagine what it was like for him. That would have been so awful, especially when, they had an ambulance there. I think they could have handled it in a much better way, but, that's why I'm trying to create awareness about disabilities, because there's a lot of bad things that happen to us. So, yeah.
What's the worst situation, Bianca, that you've experienced because of your Tourette's?
Well, I've got a fair few, but a couple of years ago, about 3 or 4 years ago, I developed sexual tics. So I'm like, you want to fuck me? Stuff like that.
Yep.
And I was in a nightclub and this guy pushed me up against the wall and put his hand up my skirt and goes, yeah, I want to.
Yeah, okay. So it wasn't the message that you were putting out.
No, because, it's just really hard, when people don't know what's going on, but it was just so scary as well.
Absolutely. Well, you have a boyfriend. Has he become your husband?
Hopefully very soon, the next couple of years. I also want to have a little baby one day also. I've got a lot of judgment from people saying, you can't have a child, you'll give your child Tourette's. But the good thing about that, I would be the best person to know how to talk to my child, how to advocate for my child. So I'm planning on having a baby in the future also.
And you've got a job, so you've got the boy, you're planning on being a mum, you've got a job. What level of support do they need to put in for you to feel safe, Bianca?
Well, my partner, he has a lot of anxiety when he comes out in public with me because he's so protective. He's had to go up to people and explain before. But I have an amazing care coordinator who's amazing, who's improved my life. And I've got the most amazing carer, best friend, who makes my life so much better. And I have so much help, which is great. I couldn't do anything without these people, like my partner and my care coordinator and my best friend. So
you've got so much energy and so much confidence about you. Again, this is a live interview that you were a little nervous about, but is it exhausting? Do you just some days think, why me?
Yeah, I've been having really bad tics lately where I've been smashing my head on the wall and I've been smashing my phone on my head. So I currently have a big indent in my head. I think I've been giving myself concussions over the last couple of days because I've been really dizzy and nauseous, and also just wanting to sleep all the time. So just from my tics, I do get physically hurt a lot. But, I try to get past that, and just by doing what I am doing with you today, it's just going to help me push forwards in my way of creating awareness and making people understand disabilities more. So, yeah.
I really appreciate you sharing your story with me, Bianca, and good on you for educating the community about disability and also supporting those with Tourette's, the similar condition, and documenting your experience. Thank you so much for coming onto the program.
You're so welcome. Thank you very much and have a lovely night.
We'll do. At 5:22, Bianca there, ABC Northern Tasmania Drive with Kim Napier.